How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and welcome back to Miami. Today's going to be an interesting one because I've installed a new mod that I'm kind of excited about. I've spent about an hour playing around with it to try and come to terms with what it does and how it works. And in the simplest sense, what it does is provides a bunch of new levels for all of my factories and all of my industries. And that includes things like forests and mines and quarries and farms. Basically, everything produces more and then can produce more as a result. So we can see that Miami Machines Factory number 2 was level 4, which used to be the highest level, and now it's leveling up to level 5. Now, this is going to cause some interesting knock-on effects across the board because, like I said, it also impacts mines. So Miami Coal Mine can now produce up to 1,200 coal in a single year. And what that says to me is that this coal mine over here is no longer necessary, although it can produce 600, and if it levels up, it can do 1,200. But this one mine is now doing what the both of them used to do. So my thinking is that right off the bat, I'm going to try and focus a little bit on reworking all of our industry in and out of Miami, just to use this episode as an opportunity to further learn how this mod works and how to balance things a little bit. And then moving forward, this is hopefully going to make my fulfillment center idea a little bit more possible. So the quickest thing to do here is going to be to go to this line right here, manage the vehicles, and I'm going to sell them immediately. We're going to sell those vehicles. That line was making 1.5 million, but we have 1.9 billion. So I don't feel too bad about, losing out on 3.5 million overall. Similar story down here. We're going to get rid of this guy. And I think, to be brutally honest, it might not be a terrible idea to just get rid of those lines in general because we really just don't need them. So, well, we might need them. We might end up needing them. Let me just rename these ones to lines 1 and 1 as well, just so that they're labeled properly. So that'll keep us good. But what we can do essentially is we can come in here and we can now have our shipment match 1,200, right? So if we look at these guys, this line is moving 479 per year. This guy could produce and ship out 1,200. So we need to do something about that. And then it's a similar story up here. This guy could produce 1,200. It's currently shipping 486. And if we look at these guys, it's 497. So it's in and around the same amount. But then the knock-on effect of that is that this guy can now produce more. So currently it's producing 800, which is going to be about 400 slag, 400 steel per year. We are shipping 500. So you could argue 250 of each, although it's probably more. Well, we can actually take a look and see that it's 400 of this and 100 of this. So essentially what we want to do is go around to the machines factory, go to the construction plants, make sure that those guys are able to consume as much as is possible and kind of work from there. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make a slight change to this truck depot because I think it's going to be kind of important to do this. What I'm thinking I want to do is go ahead and put myself a couple of little entrances to this thing right about here and get rid of this one. And then what we can do is come in here with a new road, a little something like, well, hopefully I can do this. Something like that and something like that should be pretty solid. I think that'll be more than enough. I could give this a few more lanes. I don't know if I need to give this more lanes, but you know what? I'm gonna give it more lanes just because I can. And I think I'm also going to go in and turn off the traffic lights because that is a thing that we can do, or maybe not. Okay, that's a little bit disappointing. I can turn them off here. I can't turn them off on this one. All right, well, that'll be fine. The reason for this, by the way, is pretty simple. I want to bring this road back a little bit. So I'm going to take this bit out, this bit out. I'm going to take you out as well. Take this all the way back to about there. And then in between those guys, I want to just build a new shiny road, and I want to elevate it because I need it to go over the train, basically, is what I need it to do. Now, ideally, I almost wonder if it'd be better to lower the train. Do something like this, lower the train as well. I think do both is kind of what we're going to do here. So we'll take out this section of track for a second here. we'll go in and get ourselves a new section of track. It's obviously going to have to be parallel, but we'll figure that out. So parallel tracks, yes. And then lower this down. So it kind of dips. It might look a little bit weird, but I'm wondering if I can make this work. So if we go ahead and approve this, we get the parallel section. If I go back to the road and I go from here to there and I just elevate this slightly, that looks better to me. It's not quite as ridiculous looking. And I'm kind of here for it. I'm also sort of wondering if it will be better to do this right here, cut out a tiny section of that road, do a tiny little bridge. It doesn't matter what it looks like, but I want it to look good. You know, I do. I'm going to be looking at this for a while today, so I do kind of want this to look good. So we'll elevate you to there. And I think that's okay. I think we can make that work. And then what we're going to want to do is go in here and take out like this part. Yeah, that part should be fine. We'll take out, say, this part as well. So right about there goes away. We chop that all back. We put the tracks back in and lower them again, because that's going to be kind of important to make sure that we can actually fit over this, assuming this works, which I'm really hoping it does. And then just right there. Yes. I don't love the bridge pillar. There we go. That's what we want. That's perfect. So that gives us a way for these trucks to get in here without being interrupted by the trains. We'll go ahead and smooth all that out so it looks a little bit better. And you know what? I'm kind of pleased with that. So that's thing number one, right? That's going to make this guy a bit more efficient and it's not going to get stopped by the trains anymore. But we need to make this, hold on a minute. This line is 153 right now. Let me just run the simulation a little bit and let these, there we go. 388 is going to be considerably better. But we need to make that higher. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say manage vehicles. I'm going to say duplicate all of them, which is going to give us, I want to say 34 in total, which should give us 776. Give me another 6 vehicles so that we have, I want to say 40 of them in total, 913. And now just give me another 5. And I'm going to keep adding 5 to this until we have a rate of 1,200. It's going to be a lot of vehicles. It's, you know what? 1141 is not bad. Give me another 5 just to make sure that we get this exactly where I want it to be, which is going to be 1255. Okay. Let me get rid of 1 vehicle to bring that number down a little bit. 1232. Let me get rid of 1 more vehicle to bring that number down a little bit and see where that brings us to. And that's 1209. So with that number at 1,209, we should now be able to start shipping out all of this, which is great. Even if the consumers don't want it, we can start to do it. But what I can also do is go into this line, manage the line, and at Miami Central, I do need you guys to be kind of doing everything here. So the coal's going to start stocking up a little bit until these vehicles start heading out, which is fine. We have a lot of new vehicles coming in, a whole bunch of them over here. So this thing should start to ship a fair bit more. And that should be 1,200 coal per year for this guy right about here, which is great news. We need to do exactly the same thing up this way now. We need to go to you and we need to make sure this line is prepared to move pretty much double what it's moving at the minute. So manage vehicles, we'll duplicate the number. That should give us, we should end up with roughly 1,200 on this, just a little bit shy, but should be close enough. Yeah, 1180. Give me 1 more vehicle on that line. 1221 is perfect. So now both of those mines should be shipping out 1,200 of their coal, their iron, whatever it might be per year. These guys are going to be a little bit slow getting out of there. Those traffic lights are actually slowing us down quite a bit. So let me just change out this road so that the traffic lights go away, because that is giving us some issues. There we go. I'm also not sure that this is going to be, a big enough yard for the number of vehicles that we have on this, but we'll see what happens. Regardless, we can see this number is starting to climb, which is great. And so from there, we want to go to the next step, which is going to be looking at the steel mill. So this guy's production is increasing. This guy's shipment is not. So as it stands, we could argue we're doing 400 slag and 400 steel per year. If we go and have a look at this line is moving 366. So if I pin it, manage it, and I throw, we could say 2 more vehicles on there. Once the auto save in the top right is done, we can bring that number up hopefully to 423. So now the 400, and we're not doing 400 steel, we're doing 331, but you get the point. The point being essentially that we need to make sure we can ship everything that we're looking to move here. And so if we look at this guy, similar story, 352, give me one more vehicle on that line just to bring that number to 529. And so now we're going to be able to ship out pretty much everything that this makes. It is going to take a minute because again, we have a bunch of new vehicles heading out that way and a bunch of new vehicles heading, you know, from Miami. So it's going to take some time, but we're going to get those numbers up and that's a good thing. Same with the train. We're going to get those numbers up a little bit. And then looking down here, this guy can now produce up to 600 machines per year, which is great. If we look at this line can now move 408. So we'll manage those vehicles and we'll get another one on here just to make sure that when we do start producing more machines, we can move them. Give me one more actually, so that we have 679 on this, because my goal is sort of to go all out and get this thing leveled as much as I possibly can. I want to have a ridiculous amount of machines production up here, which is kind of why I didn't get rid of those other lines, because eventually I might need them. Also, I've just realized that I can still do my road connection right here for this cargo thing. So we're just going to do that because I think that's probably easier. And then what I can also do is go to configure this, take out these road connections, take out you as well, and then extend this to have way more cargo platforms. So we can just have way more trucks come in here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now. Let's just do 10 of them. And so 10 bays, I guess, on this looks like this. And I decided to do exactly the same thing over here as well, which is working so much better. This iron line is so much more organized than the coal one. They're exactly the same. It's just that for some reason, this one keeps getting really busy and backing up like crazy. I think it's because it's a bit of a shorter distance, which is completely fine. In other news, we have got a lot of resources stored in here now, but we're not seeing production or shipment really increase. And what that tells me is that we have maxed out our transportation for our consumers, which means we need to be moving more things. So if we go and have a look up this way, we have this construction materials plant that seems to have leveled up a little bit. It's doing really well on its production, but the shipment is definitely lacking. So I think we should start moving some bricks into Miramar. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves a little truck unload stop. We'll put it right about there. And we'll get ourselves a truck station as well. We'll do, I don't know, 3 platforms on the right, maybe none on the left, I guess is what we'll go for. And we'll do a little something like this, I think is what we'll go for. So right about there, we'll get ourselves a nice little country road and it can go like this. And then we'll bring it all the way up like this as well. So we'll just build ourselves a completely new road for this, this new line here. So right about there should be fine. We'll delete the extra part and then we can upgrade you, upgrade all of you. And that's basically how we're going to get bricks into Miramar. We're also going to need to get a road depot so it can live, I'm going to say right about there. And we'll create ourselves a new line from this spot. We'll go for all platforms and we're going to be going to right about there. That should be perfectly fine. It's going to be road cargo. It is Miramar and it's going to be bricks delivery. We'll have this guy be, I'm going to say that color. Looks kind of nice. And we'll get ourselves a few trucks for it as well. So we'll go for the cargo. We'll go for the Studebaker with the side stakes. We'll get, I'm going to say 3 of them. I'm pretty sure that's going to be more than we need, but it kind of future-proofs this thing a little bit. So that'll be completely fine. We'll put it on there. And so looking at this, we should start to see the shipment increase because we are going to be moving bricks from this spot as well. So if this guy can level up, that's going to be another destination for the slag that's coming in here, which is absolutely fantastic news. Hopefully not going to be too long until we see some bricks heading into Miramar, where the demand is 63. They also have food demand, which is interesting because we have a lot of farms up here. We have some alcohol distilling right here as well. We have a food processing plant up in Augusta and a lot of places around there that are demanding food as well. Stamford, San Antonio, and Thousand Oaks. So we could get a little bit of food production going on in here as well. And there we go. We have bricks heading out, which is fantastic news. Shipment here is increasing really nicely as well. So hopefully that has the knock-on effect of getting this guy to be a little bit happier. It does. Production is up. Shipment is increasing as well. Consumers are now 376 and increasing for the machines factory. It was already 200 for the construction materials, so that's good. That's what we're looking for. If we can keep that going, we're going to be in a really, really good place. And I suppose we should go and have a look at the logs and planks production up this way, because that is another part of this entire line. So we can do 1,200 logs per year out of this guy, which is kind of wild, which will have the knock-on effect of 600 currently. That can increase as well because this thing can level up. So 600 planks. I'll tell you what that means. That means that this line needs to have a rate of, I'm going to say 1,200, right? So if we go to manage vehicles and I get 2 more of these guys, that's going to bring us to 1143. I'm not going to go higher than that because I don't think it's necessary. We can sort of expand the trains, but that should now mean that the 1,200 logs coming out of here will get picked up every year, turned into 600 planks, and that should again have the knock-on effect of giving us more machines production. Not that we need more logs. We're doing okay with those. We do need more steel, but that's good. That's going to help us in the long term get just a huge amount of machines coming out of there. This guy's also getting very close to leveling up, which is fantastic news. Our consumers are up to 400 on that machines factory, which is that the max out of this right now? Yeah, production is about 400, which is fair enough. That is 100% transportation as well. So we're going to need to, I guess when this guy levels up, hopefully we can start moving more machines or more steel down here, which is good. Again, that's sort of the goal. It's getting there. And I wonder, how are we looking over here? So this is doing all right. Shipment is 201. Our consumers are quite happy. We've got 63 demanded in Miramar, and we're starting to make those deliveries. It looks like we're doing quite nicely with it. 100% there as well is beautiful. I'm actually really pleased about that. That is great news. That's absolutely fantastic news. So this thing's doing well. Everything's starting to level up. And so we're starting to balance things out a little bit, right? That's kind of the goal here, is to try and just max everything out and get it balanced a little bit better. This guy is on the brink of leveling up, which is going to mean that it can now produce a grand total of 1,200. Okay, so does that mean that you are now going to be getting maxed out? Yes, it does. So this thing is now going to be shipping up to 1,200 per year. This can't level up again. It can get maxed out. It won't go any higher than 1,200 though, which is completely fine. This guy's production should increase if we look at our consumers. The number of steel, the amount of steel, I guess, going out is climbing as well. That's great. That is absolutely fantastic. If we can get this number up even higher, I will be very, very pleased. I also just want to point out that up this way, this train has just filled up with logs, and there's still 400, almost 500 sitting on the platform up here. So yeah, we're doing pretty good in terms of getting these logs moving, which is absolutely fantastic. So they can head out immediately. The platform has another 270, which will fill up this train as well. So we're going to be doing good. We are going to be doing good. There's 3.1 million from that one train right there. It's unloaded everything. It's loading up quite nicely. It is going to be sitting around and waiting, which is honestly fair enough. Not really too concerned about that. We're happy enough for the trains to be doing that. And then looking down here, ooh, we got a bit of a, no, we're doing okay. That's all right. That's good. That's what I want to see. Looking down here, we're starting to see the number of stored planks come down, which means that production in general is increasing. We're starting to balance things out a little bit there. We are starting to see some steel get backed up because we now have a production over 1,000. Interesting. Okay, let me pin this. Let me look at this line. It shouldn't be backing up. Well, it should be by a tiny amount. That's very surprising, though. I wasn't really expecting the steel to back up like that. Are we using older trucks by chance? What are these guys? Are they the Studebaker? They are the Studebaker. Okay, let me bring this number up to 600 then. Manage vehicles, give me 3 more. That brings us to 500 and, oh, 630. Okay, that'll do. So that should mean that we're not going to be backing up with the steel anymore. And then in general, if we can level up the shipment here again, this thing will level up again. And at that point, I think we can start bringing in the other mines. That's why I kept the other lines. Although I will say, I'm noticing that our shipment right now from this machine's factory is 436. If we look at our consumers, that's San Francisco, High Point, and Garland. I'm wondering, where the hell is New York City? It is down here. It is that like down on a corner of the map? I've never, oh, it's oh, it's near Kansas City. Okay. All right. Well, let me head back to the machines factory very quickly. I guess we need another consumer, or we need San Francisco, High Point, and Garland to grow a little bit. Salem does want machines. It does. It is sort of getting them, kind of. This could be doing better. I kind of wonder though, if it would be an idea to start bringing machines down to Salem as well, because we aren't actually using this cargo thing. We're also seeing a lot of stuff get backed up in here, which is kind of wild to think about. I don't know if I want to put more trucks on the road. That's my holdup. That's my hitch right now. Is I don't know if putting more trucks on these roads is a good idea. Salem is, yeah, it could be doing better. I think a lot of the traffic is just very much stuck in there right now. We might want to change the layout of Salem a little bit. I did build some new roads around it, but I don't know. We might want to look at different means of machines delivery to Salem here. If we have a little bit of a look, machines are kind of wanted right in here, kind of in the middle. And that seems to be about the only spot that wants them. But that's making up, what, 102 of the demand? It's quite a bit for a relatively small cluster. Looking at the rest of it, 434 on tools and 346 on bricks. I'll tell you what that means. We could potentially do with getting some more vehicles down here, because this guy's also going to be producing 1,200. So might not be a terrible idea. Really might not be a terrible idea to look into that. I'm also thinking that my bricks production could probably be changed up a little bit. So let me see here. Let me add some waypoints real quick. I want to add a waypoint right about here, and that should be fine. I want to go to this bricks delivery line, and I want to say that after this, so that's Salem South. It goes up to Salem East, which is the drop off and pick up, which is fine. I'm going to say I want these guys to sort of go around, right? I don't want it to go straight through the middle of town. I'd like it to sort of hit this road here once the autosave's done. And then that's going to be how we get this thing around. So it's going to go to there. It still wants to go through the middle of town, which I really don't want it to do. So give me a waypoint here as well. Let me go back to that line. We'll add a stop right here. And that's a little bit better, I think. That's going to take it out of the middle of town, which is kind of what I'm looking for. So that should be all right. And then I almost wonder, because the same line of trucks is doing the delivery to the plant and then the delivery to the town. I almost wonder if I should change that up a little bit. And I might change that up a little bit. I think that's what we're going to do. So Salem East is going to be our drop off. I'm going to take these waypoints out of here. And I'm going to say that this is going to be part one of a sort of two-part line. And I think that's fair enough. That road's not crazy busy, but I think I am going to put some waypoints on it as well, just to bring those trucks sort of right out and around, just so they're completely avoiding traffic. So after Salem East, you are going to go to here, and then you are going to go all the way down to here as well. So that takes those trucks completely out of the equation, which is perfectly fine. If I go and manage those vehicles now, I've got 25 of them. I can potentially replace them. Yeah. So we're using the tarpaulin ones right now because they're the only ones that can carry everything. If we change it out for dump trucks, we can carry more, which gives us 521, which is solid. Not enough. This thing's producing 1,200, but that's solid. If we maybe bring that up a little bit, we'll put 2 more vehicles in that line. Can I get this to be like a nice round 600-ish? Something similar. 604 is perfectly fine by me, honestly. So 604. If we look here, That's going to be 604 bricks getting delivered into Salem. We just need some stops for it. And so what I want to do is I want to create sort of a new setup for this. Now, we already have a good number of trucks coming down that road. So I don't know if I want to use that road. I might have to. I'm definitely thinking I will have to. Although there are some roads down here. So what if we were to put a little stop, say there, and then we come down, and we don't want to use this road, but we could use this one and then cut across. We could even use this one. That one might be the way to go. So there to here. And then this road's also quite busy, but we could sort of loop it around or just hit that main road over there and then head straight back up. I think that's going to be our way to go, actually, is we'll put a stop on this main road. This main road's actually not all that busy, so that'll be fine. We'll go to lines. We'll say new line. And we want to say from here, it was down to here. I don't love that loop, but that's okay. Onto the main road, that's fine. So it kind of loops around like that. It does hit this main road. I don't love that. I don't love that because it's going to get stuck in traffic, and that's kind of what I wanted to avoid. So let me do another waypoint. And I'm going to try for here. I don't know if this line's actually going to be able to do this or not, but we'll figure it out. So after Sunset Street, you want to go to here. And it can't do it because it's such a sharp turn. That's a shame. Okay. Maybe we do let it sort of go down. Maybe it does turn onto this road. Maybe that's acceptable. Can I make that happen? So go to there. I don't understand why it would have to loop out like that. That's really weird. But you know what? I'll do it. It's fine. It's totally fine. So after Franklin Street, we want it to go up to here. And then it sort of loops around, which is completely fine. It's kind of avoiding some of the busier roads, which is all right. I don't love that loop, but you know what? I'm here for it. It's totally fine. So at Salem East, we want it to use, honestly, I'm just going to let it use all of the platforms, kind of like the other line's doing. That should be totally fine. And we can immediately go in here, paint it red. It's going to be road cargo, Salem brick. Oh, wait, no, it's Salem dash brick delivery. And then the other one is going to be Salem Bricks Production. And so if we look at our numbers, we have 604 on the bricks production, which means we're going to need to get some vehicles for the bricks delivery. We have a road depot in here. So we can use these guys with the side stakes. We'll get 25 of them to start with. That might be too much. It might not be enough, but that's what we're going to start with. And we're going to put those guys on bricks delivery. That gives us 892. That's a little bit much. That is definitely a little bit much. We'll sell 3 of them and see what that brings us to. 785. We can sell 2 more of them. That brings us down to 20 vehicles and 713. Can I just sell 5 more of them and bring us down to 15 vehicles in total? 535. Okay, well, you know, wishful thinking. Let me duplicate 2 of them. That gives us 606. That's perfect. So 17 of those. We have something like 25 on the other line. That's totally fine. That is totally fine. These guys are hopefully going to do some good things down here. They can head around. They can start producing the bricks. The other guys can come in and take them out, and all should be fine. I also think I'm going to configure the platforms on this to be a little bit longer so the trucks can get in here and queue up a little bit more, since we do now have 2 lines that are going to be wanting to use this space. So that should be fine. And hopefully that'll work. That should mean more bricks into Salem in general. They do want more bricks. And I guess they also want more tools, which is this guy. And this guy is busy. This guy's definitely busy. What's the rate on you? 200 right now. And then what's the rate on you? 174. Okay. Manage vehicles. Give me, no, that's sell vehicle. Give me 1 more. And that brings us up to 176. Wait a minute. Why is that? There we go. 188. Give me another one. And that gives us hopefully 200 and something. Yeah, 200 flat is solid. So hopefully we have kind of a 1-to-1 on the tools coming in. That could be better. We do need that to be a little bit better, but we'll get there. One thing at a time. Okay, so with some upgrades made to both this depot and also to Salem itself, I've decided to make some of the roads a bit wider to try and help with some of the traffic problems. It's not done that much, but it's helped a little bit, and a little bit at the minute is better than not at all. We do have some considerable brick production going on. We finally have our trucks coming in here to pick them up and take them out as well, which is great. So hopefully that will figure itself out. But I want to come over to here because I want to start dealing with this problem. We are starting to see things kind of back up a little bit here. We're not losing anything yet, but we're getting to a point where we might. So I want to figure things out. So I want to pin this, and I want to look at high point brick delivery and machines delivery. And I want to keep those pinned for just a second. And I want to do the same thing with this guy. Pin it right there and put it right about there. So machines and bricks, we have 73 and 36. If we look at high points, the wow. Okay. That was unexpected. That's a good number. The high point wants 312 machines. Okay. Well, manage vehicles, maybe duplicate you, and maybe duplicate you again. Seems a little bit unnecessary. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely a lot, but that is now going to provide High Point with all it needs for a while. I don't suspect that we're going to be moving that many machines, but we definitely have the capacity to. And then when it comes to the bricks, it's currently 53. So manage those vehicles and just duplicate one of them, and that'll give us more than enough. So that's High Point sorted out in terms of the throughput of the vehicles. Whether or not that ends up working is, well, we'll find out is what we're going to do there. Similar story here. I want to look at San Francisco brick delivery and machines delivery, and I want to have a good look at San Francisco itself. So if we pin these guys to the right side of the screen, San Francisco is down here. Yeah. So San Francisco, if we pin you, machines, you want 360, bricks, you want 77. So if we go to the bricks line, we're currently doing 28, manage those vehicles. Let me just make sure. Are we using the Studebaker down here? We are. Okay. So in that case, duplicates. And that brings us up to 56. You want 77. Let me give you just 5 more of those. More vehicles on the road isn't necessarily a good thing, but this will help us out a little bit here. And then for machines, 357. That's a lot. That's a lot of machines. I don't know that we're going to be moving that, but we will definitely try. And we'll kind of just keep throwing vehicles at this line for the time being. Again, putting 60 vehicles into San Francisco on this line is not a great idea. We really should do this by train. But I want my fulfillment center, damn it. That's my goal. That's my goal here. That's why I'm doing this. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what ends up happening, I guess. Garland, I think, is doing fine. I guess we could take a little bit of a look at the bricks delivery here and the machines delivery as well. And see if Garland's doing all right. I'm pretty sure it is, but we can take a look at Garland and see what happens. So Garland isn't that the one all the way down here? Yeah. So Garland machines is 54. We could get more of those. Manage those vehicles. Duplicate, I guess. And then for bricks, they want 30. We're doing 19. Manage vehicles, duplicate. That'll be fine. So that should keep all those guys happy. That now means that we are able to move everything that comes through here, though. So the shipment stats for everybody else up the line should now be better, right? So how are you doing? You can now produce up to 700. Shipment here is fine. These numbers are starting to come into line. We used to have like 800, 900 planks. That's coming down, which is fine. 444 on shipment. How are you doing? 492. Do I need more trains? I do not need more trains, do I? Hold on a minute. Consumers. High Point. So the High Point deliveries, I think, are lacking because of the trucks on the other end, right? That's probably what's going on here. And so High Point, I think, will figure itself out. I want to say it'll figure itself out. I want to say we don't need more trains in this line. I'm going to get one more. I'm gonna get one more. I don't know if I need it, but I'm going to do it. And that brings us to 590, which is good. I don't think that's going to have any impact on this, but we're gonna We're going to see how that goes. Now, let me look back at this guy. How are we doing? We're still doing all right. We're doing 800 on shipment. That's pretty good. That is 600 to this guy, 200 to that guy. That's to be expected, I guess. All right. Are you... I hope this levels up again. I want this to level up again so badly. Although I think we're going to be held back by the simple fact that there's just so much traffic. And this is, I think, why we need to start looking at trains or planes. Planes would be an option as well. It'd be very interesting to start moving machines by aircraft, but I don't know that we're there yet. I don't know that we've got to that point. Although I am wondering, at the very least, could I connect this road to that road and give us like another connection between San Francisco and High Point? I think we're going to have to. I think realistically, that's kind of the point we've gotten to here, where we have to start connecting back roads and side roads to get people around. I don't know if this is actually going to help or if this is just going to move all of the traffic onto this road, but we'll find out. We'll find out together is what we'll do. So bring this guy over to about there. We can connect around like this. And so that's another means to get down to San Francisco. Traffic between San Francisco and Garland is not as bad, which is good. We probably do want to look at improving the road connections at some point, but it's honestly not too bad. It is mostly between San Francisco, High Points, and Salem that we're having these issues. So reasonably, I think I might try and merge these into one city. I'm not going to lie, because we don't have that much space between them anymore. I mean, we still have a lot. That's still thousands upon thousands of people that we'd have to get in here, but I feel like we could do it. I do. I feel like we could pull that off. I'm also kind of feeling like we should try and get a few more roads between all of these guys. So let's bring a road straight out of here. And let's see if I can. I kind of want it to go uphill. I'm not going to lie. I think going uphill with this would be kind of interesting. And I want it to connect to this road over here. So is that going to be an option? Can I bring you straight across there? Too much slope. Really? How? It's, oh. Well, you know what? That's fair enough. That makes sense. That definitely checks out. It's a lot of slope right there. Okay. So we'll get this guy to run in a nice straight line to there. We'll take out this entire section and redo that stretch of road because I think it'll be better. Yeah, it sort of sinks down like that, which is much better. And we'll keep that for now. Can I replace this section of track? Is that going to be easy to do? Oh, that's, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we come up with something else there, because that's leaving a lot to be desired. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even want to get started on how much of a pain it was to get this all to work, but we do now have this extra road between High Point and Salem, which I would hope is going to be good. I would hope it's going to be useful. I don't know that it will be, but I'm going to hope that it will be. And that's all I can really go off of right now. I'm also thinking I might do an extra little road that sort of goes up and over this hill just for a bit of fun. That's a weird, the weird description of what I consider to be fun. But right now I am kind of enjoying just throwing random roads at everything and seeing what works. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. Although I'm wondering where I'm going to connect this road. I mean, I wanted to connect to that bit down there, and I guess it could connect here as well. Assuming that this is something the game is actually going to want me to do, which, well, that's, no, I don't think that is what we're going to do right there. I somehow don't think so. That looked to be a little bit much right there. We'll do this. And if I try and do that, that's not what I want. I want a nice curved section of road right there. So that's not really what I'm looking for. Can I do a bridge? I can do a bridge. Ooh. Do I want to do that kind of bridge or that? I don't know if I want to do that one. Although, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go for that one. That's a really risky looking bridge. You know what? We'll do this. Looks a little bit less silly. We'll take out basically all of this section of road for a second. And if I just replace it, it should give us something that's a bit more level. There we go. That's maybe a little bit steep, but you know what? We're going to go for it. As for the rest of this, let's bring this guy straight through to about here. And let's just sort of, you know what? We'll just sort of curve them together like this. And that'll be just fine. Do I want to do the tunnel? I don't know if I do. I don't think I do. I want to be able to see this road and see the chaos that I'm sort of unleashing with these extra roads everywhere. I don't know if it's a good idea. I really don't. I'm not convinced that this is going to do all that much, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And so with that done, I think we'll just sort of wait and see what happens. We are seeing a ridiculous amount of goods down this way. We have got all the new trucks coming in finally to grab those things though. So hopefully some good things are going to happen. We do have a stupid amount of bricks just sitting around right now. So let me just pin this and have a look at bricks delivery. It's 140. Bricks delivery is 140. I have to assume that's a traffic problem, right? It's gotta be. That's gotta be related to traffic. Yeah, these guys are just stuck in traffic down here trying to make deliveries. That is really unfortunate. That's, oh man, that is really unfortunate. I don't love that. I don't. I'm not thrilled about that in the slightest. I feel like we might want to let's move things around a little bit. I have an idea here. Let me move my first drop off onto this street, right? So we'll keep this pinned for a sec. Actually, we don't need to keep that pinned. We'll go to you, and we'll go to manage line. So instead of here, you go there. So we get rid of that. So now it sort of cuts through. Then it can probably skip that waypoint because that comes in this way, which is still kind of a busy road, but it's less busy than this main one, which seems good. This whole stretch up here is not too busy. This is very busy, but it doesn't seem like there's much I can do about that right now. But this will be an improvement. This is not the next stop. This one is. Does this road need to have more lanes? I want to say this road might need a few more lanes. I don't know how I feel about turning this into a larger road, but it seems like it needs it. So we'll just upgrade both of them and see how that plays out. We have this guy. There's not a lot of traffic around here, not a lot of traffic there. So that's hopefully going to bring, there we go. Bricks deliveries up to 650. That's hopefully going to massively improve things. This road is kind of a pain. So here's what I'm thinking. I think we go in. I think we get a waypoint. I think we put a waypoint right about there. And I think we go back to this line and we say after stop number 4, we want to add that waypoint. So it kind of goes out and around. And now it kind of avoids all of this traffic, which should be much better. So that line should be able to get bricks into Salem much, much faster. So hopefully Salem's going to continue to grow and hopefully everything's going to be okay there. And hopefully we're not going to see ourselves losing a whole bunch of bricks. So now, just before we wrap things up for the day, I want to take a look at this guy and see how it's doing. Its shipment is still not really where I'd like it to be, which is a bit of a worry. But we are now moving 100% of things into San Francisco, into High Point, and into Garland. Production is where I'd like it to be. Transport is where I'd like it to be. We just need another consumer at the business end of things. So it's probably really stupid of me to even consider doing this, but I think we're going to do another truck line for machines into Salem. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. So let's use this stop. I think, is this one already doing machines? No, that's Salem fuel delivery. That's our machines delivery. This one's not crazy busy though. So we'll use, well, do we want to use this one? I think this one might have a bit more luck. I'll tell you what, that's the one we're going to use. So this is going to be going right about there. It can go out. It's going to go all the way across to this guy. And I want to see if I can use some waypoints to avoid some of the worst traffic around here. So it comes in, it goes to the right. It could sort of loop back up in itself. It could definitely avoid that road, which is good. This one's a little bit busy, which I don't love, but that's all right. So it kind of cuts over itself. It hits this stop and then it will sort of do its thing. I guess that's probably good enough. Or I could use this one. This one might be a better idea. So instead of Mill Street, we do here, we take out Mill Street completely. And then it just comes in. It still loops over itself. I don't love that it does that. Not a huge fan of it looping across itself like that. I mean, I could potentially do something about it. I could just use a different stop, I guess. But I think that'll do. I don't think it's the end of the world if it loops over itself. It looks like it's avoiding some of the busier roads, which is completely fine. So I think that's what we're going to do. So that's going to be road cargo. That is going to be Salem, and it's going to be machines delivery number 2. We'll get that in red. We'll go and look at you and rename you to machines delivery 1. And there's only 2 vehicles on that line, actually. So that's probably why we're struggling a little bit here. This guy's production is 44. Its shipment is this. Its suppliers, El Paso Steel Mill, High Point Silver Mill. So High Point Silver Mill is this guy. Oh, it's the train line, isn't it? It's that original train line that was, oh my God. Yeah. I forgot. This is super. We need to make this better. It's super inefficient, but we'll deal with it. It's fine. I realize I've also just, I said we're going to do one last thing before I wrap up for the day. And now here we are. Every time, every single time. It's fine. Machines delivery 2. So you're doing that. Do I want it to go that way? It is bothering me more than it should that it is looping around in such a strange way, but you know what? It's fine. It's not the end of the world. It might get a little bit stuck in traffic there, but you know what? It'll be all right. Let's get some vehicles for this guy. Actually, let me manage the line so that in upper High Point, you can use both of those, but the only thing you're going to be doing is getting yourself some machines, and that'll be all right. So we'll go in here. We'll get ourselves some vehicles. This guy's good at moving machines. We'll go for 4 of them. That seems like a pretty solid number. Go for 4 trucks right there. Hopefully moving a good amount of machines. And as soon as the autosave's done, as per usual, we can get ourselves the trucks. We can paint them bright red. They can go on Salem Machines Delivery 2. Away they go. That gives us a rate of 72. Salem currently wants 72 machines. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if we end up bringing any machines down here. We can probably expand this guy too, just while we're here, so that it matches all of the other ones. And I guess in a way that sort of expands our fulfillment center idea, right? So that's another bunch of platforms that are hopefully going to get used. And my theory is that in doing that, we should see this guy, start to improve a little bit on the shipment front, because now we're moving more products further down the line. Salem demands, oh, we're shipping 28. We're not moving that at all right now, but that's progress. So this thing's getting closer to leveling up again, which is very exciting. Starting to level out in terms of the number of planks and steel coming through here as well, which is very concerning, whilst also very exciting. So that's something to be aware of. We are shipping everything out right now, though, which is solid. Might need that to be better, but I think if this levels up, then this will level up, so that'll be okay. Although in saying that, it's kind of wild to me that we are sitting so low on planks in here. Yes, we just had a delivery, but we need more. We need considerably more than that. We're actually starting to slack a little bit on the old machines front. Having a look over here, I mean, production is 700, so arguably we could be bringing in more of these guys, right? I think. So 600 on you right now. Consumers, 600. Can I mean, that's 100%. So this thing is only consuming. Oh, you're leveling up again. Well, that's good. That's unexpected, but good. That might mean that we need more suppliers for this guy, which is wild to think about. Let me go to you. Let me not configure you, but I want to look at the line here. So 601, manage vehicles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go ahead and put 5 more on there, which will bring this guy up to 802, which is solid. That is considerably more than we need. But my thinking is that if and when this guy levels up, we should be able to make more. We should be able to consume more, which should mean that this guy can level up. And yeah, we might be onto something really good here. We might be onto something really good here. Oh, now look at this. We're now producing, or can produce, up to 800 machines out of this guy. We're not quite doing it, but we Definitely could. Our shipment is increasing. Our consumers, Salem now wants 85. So once we start getting that down there, we're going to be in a very good place. This train is almost-ish halfway full, which is great news. This guy just doesn't have the materials anymore. We just don't have enough planks coming down here, which is wild to think about. But right here, I'm sort of hoping we can start to bring this the shipment up a little bit. Our consumers are still sort of maxed out. If we look down here, I mean, it's probably a combination of shipment and production that's holding things back. So we'll see if this does end up leveling up at any points. Again, in terms of consumers, I mean, they just need to be demanding more. So I'm not really too stressed about that. I think it is just going to be a case of waiting to see what happens there, or we might need this guy to level up a little bit. And that is just a matter of shipment. So if we look at San Francisco wants 75 bricks. We're only transporting 65% of that. So if we look at San Francisco here, they want what? 75. We're not doing that. Now this one is our San Francisco brick delivery line. It's doing 117, so it should be doing it. It might just be a case of waiting for the vehicles to kind of, yeah, not be stuck in traffic. Of course, they're all now using that back road that I just made. That is, yeah, that was kind of expected. Let's just upgrade that to have a few more lanes on it and see what that does. I'm not expecting a miracle, but it'll be better than nothing, I guess. We might want to just make that a really major road cutting through San Francisco now, at least up until this point. So it comes right into this other major road, and we'll see how that plays out. Again, I'm not really expecting any miracles there, but better than nothing. Definitely better than nothing. We're doing okay though. I think we're doing pretty good. We've managed to upgrade this thing quite considerably, which makes me very, very happy. This guy's been upgraded as well. It will get better. And then up this way, you know, things will get better here as well. It's just a matter of helping out the consumers a little bit. It's kind of the end of the line that's currently the problem. It's not the whole Miami section. So we do need to figure out traffic down by San Francisco. It really might end up being the case that what we want to do is just have more trains. That might be the way to go about it, is just get more trains to bring everything everywhere. It's an absolute mess of roads around High Point and Salem, but I'm kind of here for it. Salem is doing pretty well in terms of its brick supply. It's aiming for 23, almost 2,400 people, which is amazing news. I think realistically, the next thing we want to focus on is going to be the number of people going between Salem and Montgomery. There are only 2 trains in that line though. So maybe that's something to look into, is the fact that this train is, it looks like it's going to fill up, right? Yeah. So that train's absolutely going to fill up. No problem whatsoever. There's still 500, almost 600 people waiting. So let's deal with that. Let's deal with that. It's only 114 people per train as well. So I guess, do we want to edit the trains? Do we want to just replace the trains? That is also an option. We have got some choices. We've got some nice steam locomotives here. We got the big boy. Do I want to use a diesel locomotive? Do I want to use a new electric locomotive? I don't know. What do the passenger wagons look like right now? We can get up to 112 miles per hour in this guy. 112. I kind of like the parlor wagon. I'm not going to lie. I do really like the parlor wagon, but it's 20 years away from being retired, more or less. We are also using these guys right now. So we'll tell you what, let me go to diesel locomotives. I could use electric. I could use the electric one. The electric one I think it's this guy that we're using. Is it as good? You know what? We'll use the diesel. We'll change it up a little bit is what we're going to do. We're going to change it up a little bit. So passenger, we'll go in and get these guys. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. What is it? 112, 114 per train right now. Let's bring that up to 152 per train right now. Let's paint them bright yellow. That might not be the right shade of yellow. That might be the right shade of yellow. I don't think it matters. Replace them. And I don't know if they actually did get repainted or not. There we go. Does that look okay? Let's have a look at you. How are we looking? It looks all right. It definitely could be better, but they can carry more, and that's what we're looking for. So let me also just double the number of trains. That seems like a solid idea, and that should probably resolve our issues because we have a lot of people waiting in Oklahoma to get down to Salem, and we do have a decent number of people waiting in Montgomery as well. So that'll start moving people around really nicely, hopefully, and that'll hopefully stop the complaining down this way. Not that many people wanting to go to Kansas City, which is surprising. Do we have many people coming in? We do. Okay. Well, I think with that in mind, let me just make sure the train fits. It absolutely does. It could be longer. We could go a bit longer on those trains. I don't think I'm going to. We could. I'm just not going to. I'm going to get carried away. We're going to leave it there. That's what we're going to do. I said about 30 minutes ago, we're going to leave it there. So we're doing that. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.